Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and real quick, like when I did a vlog not too long ago, I asked about whether to redo some of those old reviews. Decided not to, because a lot of people said, you can if you want, but they're fine the way they are. But that doesn't mean I will not talk about once in a while a film that I really love, because you know what it is? A, because I feel like it, and I enjoy the movie, and B, well, first off, B, if you're wondering why this looks a little funny there. Is I had a fight with the razor, and the razor won. Fucking shaving sucks. And C, because there are certain films I personally love that I'll talk about 4, 5, 7 times because for me personally, they deserve it. Like this film. I've talked about this film before, I know. So if you don't want to watch it, be my guest. If you don't want to watch this review, be my guest. I'll have new reviews up. I'm not taking requests right now because I have a lot of movies I do want to watch, and I want to watch those first. Unless you give me a check. So I can go, I'm rich, bitch. But seriously, it's very humbling. People want me to do requests, but um, not right now. But getting to the review, this is a film that on YouTube, no one else has reviewed this film except me. So I'm like, okay, I love this film ever since I was a kid. Still do to this day when I just saw this again 5 minutes ago. I am going to re-review this film again. Once in a while, when it's a film I really love, I'm going to talk about it again. Because again, I really enjoy the film Runaway with Tom Selleck. It gets a 5.7 on IMDb, which 5.7, okay, it should be higher for me personally, but 5.7, it's not as bad as some of the films I've liked. But I'm the only person that's reviewed this film, so fuck it. I'm going to be the fanboy of this movie. I'm going to review it 2, 3, 4, 7, 11 times, just like a few other films. Because some of these films get lost in the dust, get lost in the sands of time. And if I gotta be the guy who's going to love this film to death and talk about it over and over again, I will be that man. Now, Runaway, getting right to the point, is directed by Michael Crichton. Now, Michael Crichton, you've heard the name. Unfortunately, Michael Crichton is no longer with us. But, of course, he's written the basis for Jurassic Park, among many other stuff, Congo. He's also directed a few films. I believe he directed Westworld. He directed a film called Looker. And I can't remember what else he's directed. I feel like I'm missing something that he's directed. But he wrote and directed this film, Runaway. Now, the film came out in 1984, I think around the summertime. Now, the problem was that, Tom Selleck, of course, was a big name because of Man and P.I. But in 1984, there was another sci-fi film also dealing with robotics. And that film, little film called The Terminator. So then The Terminator comes out and you go, Arnold Schwarzenegger? And what's this guy, James Cameron? What the hell is this? And, of course, that film went, and this film went, grossed like $6 million, which is pretty pathetic. And it's sad. It really is fucking sad. It kind of pisses me off. It's always sad when films you personally love just doesn't seem like they get the recognition they deserve, in my opinion. I'm looking at all the other films that he's directed. Want to make sure. But yeah, he did direct Westworld. Um, trying to find. Okay. Come on. I know the stuff he's written. The Andromeda Strain, The Terminal Man, Eaters of the Dead, which became that film, The 13th Warrior, I believe. Congo Sphere, Jurassic Park, Rising Sun, Timeline, Next, which that became a Nicolas Cage film, I believe. which I did not know that was Michael Crichton. Did not know Michael Crichton wrote the novel that they based that on. No, this is a different Next. Whoops. No wonder. That was someone else. But yeah, oh, there we go. Westworld, Coma, that's the one I was thinking of, Coma. He's a co-writer on Jurassic Park, a co-writer on Rising Sun, a co-writer producer on Twister. He wrote and directed Looker before this film, Runaway. And the last film he directed was a film called Physical Evidence with Burt Reynolds. Now, I know we're going about 5 minutes without talking about much about the movie, but the movie takes place in the future where you have robots that are, they're sort of appliances of today's age. They're do the work, either construction work, agricultural work, that sort of thing. They're commonplace, but when one of these machines go a little bit hard wild, they break, they mess up. They have a little squad called the Runaway Squad, which Tom Selleck heads up. And no, he doesn't have this. This gun's in the movie, but the bad guy shoots it. So this is false. I hate when they do that on covers, false advertising. Cool looking cover, but it is kind of false advertising. Even though that gun's in the movie, but he never shoots it. But he has a new partner, Tom Selleck's character, played by Cynthia Rhodes. And actually, well, not better poster, but this is a little bit of a better poster. Right there, a little bit better. I don't know, I just got a kick out of this movie. I'm a fan of this movie. I know a lot of people won't be fans of it. I'm not saying it's a perfect film, but I like the world that was created here, where, you know, these robots, which people may think are clunky, but in reality, it makes me relatable to this world more. Like, I like iRobot, but when you see those big robots looking very human, like, you know, facial wise, and it's cool to look at. I like iRobot, but it's hard to relate to. But here, when the machines look very commonplace, like something you would see in a hardware store, you kind of buy into it more. At least I buy into it more. And like their first job is, you know, this. It's like an everyday thing. So you have the agricultural, like farming, and the machine going hard wild in the cornfield does like pest control, and Tom Selleck and his new partner Cynthia Rhodes have to go take it on. And I like the sort of everyday quality where you have farmers to the side going, well, I could do that. Like they're just talking, overlapping each other. It's like, yeah, great job, buddy. It's like, well, hell, I could have blown it up too. So it has an everyday feeling. Um, what I really like about this film is Tom Selleck's character, Ramsey. He's a character who's a single father. His wife has died in a crash a few years ago. His son, I forget who played his son. His son does fine. I mean, Joey Kramer. At first, I'm like, he's a little bit, you know, needs a little bit more acting, you know, a little bit more acting lessons. But I kind of grew to like him. Most people remember him as the lead in Flight of the Navigator, actually. If you remember Flight of the Navigator, he's the lead in that film. And as a film to run, I didn't mind him. But another thing about the Ramsey character Tom Selleck plays that really makes you root for him is that he's afraid of heights. You find a little bit of backstory that he had followed a suspect, but he couldn't follow because his fear of vertigo. That guy escaped and killed a family, and he kind of blamed himself for that. And he didn't want to have that pressure again, put anyone in danger, so he went to the Runaway Squad. And Tom Selleck, I'm a fan of Tom Selleck, whether it be in 3 Men and the Baby. I didn't grow up much with Man and P.I. I'll be honest, I grew up much more with his films, like this film and 3 Men and the Baby. But I don't know, I see Tom Selleck with his mustache, and he always a likable presence, a likable personality. He seems like a guy who's a genuinely nice guy, funny guy, just a good guy. He has a very likable personality. he's a big plus as to why I enjoy this film. He didn't get to do many films like this in the sci-fi genre or action genre. Usually he's either on his TV show, maybe some comedy, or westerns. So it was nice to see someone I like in this type of genre, subgenre. Cynthia Rhodes, well, I'm trying to remember what else she's been in. She did a fine job as well. I guess she's most famous for Dirty Dancing and Flashdance. Those are the big films she was in. Uh, but I really liked her as the new partner. She was very beautiful to look at, but I think she did fine in the acting. The bad guy, of course, is Gene Simmons, and Gene Simmons made a perfect bad guy. He has the look of it. He looks like the devil. He has that weird look to him. You can't see that, but come on, that was like, if you had it up close, that's the devil right there. He has the right voice for it. He has fun with the role. He's not too over the top, but he's very sinister as well. So you have a likable hero who has some flaws, like the vertigo that makes you feel sorry for him, root for him more. You have a bad guy, Gene Simmons does a great job. Uh, looking back on some of these films in the 80s, whether people make fun of the effects now, I don't. It's a charm to them because just trying to go for practical, like these these spiders that will, um, Gene Simmons, bad guy Luther, will leave for people, and they'll jump on you and inject this acid, and usually they blow up and you a burst of flame. Like one guy is on the ground and burst of flame covers his whole body. I mean, the whole plot is they get a call with a wonderful scene in the beginning where there's a runaway that's resulted in death. There's two people who were killed with a butcher knife. And when Tom Selleck, they put like a flotation device to canvas the area, then he has to go in to save this baby from this runaway robot. I always love that scene. It's very suspenseful. It's very the score by Jerry Goldsmith was really solid. I mean, I think this was his first time doing an all electronic soundtrack, and it works. For me, it works. He did a really beautiful job with the score. Uh, really enjoy the score. Really fits in with the film. Fits it like a glove. Uh, when he's trying to get to the baby, and now this runaway robot has a gun. It has good tension, suspense, atmosphere to it. Uh, Helped by the score. And I'll be honest, there were times where I forgot this. It says here it's a PG-13 rating, but sometimes I would forget that it's a PG-13 rating. I really would. You know, maybe some people would say, "Well, come on, it's obviously PG-13," but I don't know. Just the tone of the film, some of the swear words. Including a scene where I enjoy, where there's a scene where his partner Cynthia Rhodes gets shot by these bullets that Gene Simmons has. That I always love this, the smart bullet where it actually goes around corners and goes up and down, and he fires a shot and you see the point of view of the bullet going through alleyways, and it's such a great foot chase. Although I haven't seen a foot chase quite like that. And the fact that smart bullets, you find out they can actually be programmed for specific body heat. So it's like you can actually put your, you know, how they say this bullet has your name on it. You can kind of do that for real. And this bullet can roll through curves. And I know once in a while, I mean, I'm not saying this film's perfect. Once in a while, you think, okay, these bullets, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? But there are reasons, like in the ending, people say, well, he's shooting these bullets, how come they don't hit Tom Selleck? Well, you find out that one of the abilities is heat. And when he's in this construction facility in the end, there's heat all around him and even gets to a steam pipe to fuck with the bullet. It's like, did you watch the film? It explains in the film. But I know once in a while it's like, well, why didn't... And I'll say because they're not real, buddy. These bullets are not real, so maybe there's something to them that I don't understand. They're not real. So it didn't bother me as much as I'm sure a lot of people would, but that's cool. But it just... Great performance by Tom Selleck, and I like Cynthia Rhodes. I really love Gene Simmons as the bad guy. The practical robots, they're, maybe they're not as state of the art as they do robots today, but that's what I liked about it. It seems like practical. It seems like something you would actually see people use, and um, it's kind of downplayed, almost a little bit more down to earth. And I think that's why you kind of get into this future world more. It's not too over glamorized. Doesn't take you too much out of it. Uh, and I love the ideas, like the smart bullet, really good camera movements and angles. Some decent supporting cast. You have Chris Mulkey. This is a guy who's been in a few films like Ghost in the Machine. He was actually a little bit in Cloverfield. Kirstie Alley is in the film. There's a fun scene where Tom Selleck kind of sees her and is like, oh, she. You can tell he's thinking, oh, she's hot. Because he tries to do the macho thing because she's trapped by this robot. So he tries to do the macho thing and he gets stunned repeatedly. And it's a little bit funny because you plainly see that he's trying to be macho to look good in front of her. And ultimately, he throws a coat and just beats the shit out of this robot. I love the guy there's like, hey, you didn't have to do that. But just always like, oh, fuck you. But like I was saying, like the PG-13, like when Cynthia Rose gets shot with one of those bullets, but it doesn't explode right away, and they want him to, they want this machine to get it out. He's like, no, they'll screw up. He's like, I want this, I want that, and I want to clear the fucking room now. He's like, oh shit, I don't get to hear Tom Selleck say fuck a lot. Cool. It's great as a simple thing, but it was an entertaining thing. It was a nice line. You also have a G.W. Bailey from the Police Academy films who plays the police captain. Stan Shaw, I remember Stan Shaw, who is a friend of Tom Selleck's character. And Stan Shaw I like as an actor. He's been in quite a few films. He was in the Nicolas Cage film Snake Eyes. I believe he was in Cutthroat Island. I remember him from a Stallone film called Daylight. Uh, he's been in a lot of films. I think he was in Harlem Nights. He was in a war film. I forget what it was. He's pretty prevalent in that. But I was always a fan of Stan Shaw. He's a good character actor. Yeah, Cutthroat Island, Daylight, Snake Eyes, Rising Sun. He was in, what was it? I know it's here somewhere. I want to make sure I get this. Roots, The Next Generation. The Boys in Company C, that's what it was. The Boys in Company C. Uh, but I'm not going, well, I've always gone 18 minutes, longer than the old review I did, but uh, I know I'm kind of being kind of vague on it, but I want people to check this film out. I would show clips on it, but Crackle, who's on YouTube, they are renting this film out for $3.99, which is weird because there's another guy who uploaded it for free as of right now, which may be over there or something. But uh, again, I know there's little flaws here and there. I'm not saying it's perfect, but this film does not deserve to be forgotten. It did not deserve. It's sad that it flopped hard. Maybe because of the Terminator coming out and oh shit, the Terminator, wow, or Schwarzenegger, James Cameron, which is sad. But I really do enjoy this film. I enjoy the little bits of action, the foot chase with the smart bullets, or another car chase with him and Kirstie Alley, and Kirstie Alley is kind of a friend of Gene Simmons' character in a way, who's also now looking for her. And you have like these little flotation devices that are kind of used as bombs. I love the ending. Um, it really plays off Tom Selleck's vertigo, his fear of heights, where it goes up to construction, his son's brought down, but if his son goes off the elevator, he'll be killed. And the moment where this happens, and there's a moment where the elevator will not stop and reaches up here, and I always remember this moment where Tom Selleck looks up, and the way Jerry Goldsmith did the sting in the music really showed, and Tom Selleck's performance really showed, oh, like, oh shit, I'm way up here. And then the little battle he has with the spider robots with acid coming up and, trying to blast them, trying to get the fuck out of there, going through the fence wall and hitting his hand. And I always enjoyed that scene. That was probably one of my favorite scenes. Him versus the little spider robots in the elevator, the foot chase scene, the scene in the opening where he's trying to rescue the baby. Those are probably my three favorite scenes in the film. But I was thoroughly entertained. I don't know, maybe it's the 10th, 20th, 30th time I've seen this since a little kid, I don't know. But I'm thoroughly entertained by the cast, by the some of the ideas in the film. It was 1984, so they had what they could work with, but I enjoyed it overall. Great hero, Tom Selleck, Gary Ramsay. Tom Selleck did always a likable personality to see. Love the score by Jerry Goldsmith. Gene Simmons plays a great bad guy. I've always loved Runaway. Like, there's another film Michael Crichton did called Looker. Now, I've reviewed Looker. It's on my channel. I'm not the biggest fan of Looker, but at the same time, there were some things I liked about it. So overall I thought it was okay. But I like this film much more. And Looker has features on the DVD. It has an intro and a commentary track with Michael Crichton. Which I guess you would have to think, well, I guess Michael Crichton likes Looker a lot more than Runaway. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I really don't. No features. I hate these bullshit features. Two-channel Dolby Surround in Spanish and Portuguese. Uh, talent files. Trailers. For Gattaca and something else. And Runaways on there. But still, come on. But I'm a big fan of this movie. Obviously, no one can take that away from me. And again, I'm gladly talk about this film again because it's, I think, highly underrated. Um, I don't know. Films I love, I don't like the fact that they'll be forgotten. That's a little sleeve inside it. I don't like the fact that they'll be forgotten. I don't think it deserves it. There are much worse movies out there. And, for the time it was made, 1984, a time where, trying to go for practical, and I really enjoyed it. Enjoying the characters, enjoying the cast, the score, the little set pieces. Is it perfect? No. But I think it's entertaining. I think it's enjoyable. I think it's a good film. And it deserves more notice, Runaway. So that's my personal view on it. So either way, thanks for watching. Take care. And next time I will give you guys some new reviews of newer films. I'm not taking requests right now, like I said, but maybe sometime in December. But I'm not promising anything. Because, it is the holidays, it gets very busy, and when I'm off, I want to watch stuff that I enjoy, including Runaway. So either way, thanks for watching, take care, and we will see you later. Ciao.